Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Clayton, and I just got back from seeing Kong Skull Island. And it's a film where what you see is what you get, and what you get is a very awesome monster movie with characters you don't really care about, but that's not why you're here. You're here to see Kong beat up monsters and look awesome, and that's what happens in the movie. But let's get to the story, shall we? The film takes place in 1973, and this company called Monarch is planning on an expedition to Skull Island. So, in order to go to Skull Island and to basically claim it for themselves, the Monarch Corporation sends in a military escort for them to go to the island, led by a British tracker named Conrad, played by Tom Hiddleston, a war photographer, an anti-war photographer named Weaver, played by Brie Larson, a lieutenant colonel played by Samuel L. Jackson, and a bunch of other characters. But as we might expect once they get on the island, turns out everything goes wrong. As they meet up with King Kong, they crash land on the island and they have to find a way off before they're all killed off by Kong or any of the other monsters on Skull Island, one by one. That's basically all it is when it comes to the story. So this film basically plays out like it's a B film with a really big budget. So if you're expecting a work of art cinema piece like the original 1933 King Kong or even the 2005 Peter Jackson remake, you're not going to get that. It's very much a silly, overblown monster mash in a similar vein to the monster movies of the 1970s and the 1980s. But as far as those types of films go, it's actually a really entertaining film. Let's get the negatives out of the way first because I only have a few. While the film is incredibly entertaining, the characters for the most part aren't really very memorable. The cast does a good job playing them. Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, and John Goodman, they all do a great job with their performances, but the script is just weak and it's filled with a ton of cliches. To the point where I had a hard time remembering a couple of the characters' names by the end of the film. It's not like they're awful, but they're very stock characters. Thankfully, thankfully there is one character that I did like, Marlowe, played by John C. Reilly, a World War II veteran who ended up getting stranded on the island and who has basically gone totally insane. John C. Reilly completely hams it up as Marlowe, and even though it's a very cheesy character, he plays it off very well to the point where you don't care, and he's actually pretty dang funny. That's one thing that I think this film does better than the 2004 Godzilla, which this film's actually in the same universe as that one. Yay. But anyways, the thing I think it does better than that movie is it has a good sense of humor and it knows not to take itself that seriously. The characters certainly take their situation seriously, why wouldn't they? But the film itself doesn't have that serious of a tone. You can pretty much tell in one scene where King Kong looks like he's going to eat someone, and then we cut to a guy eating a sandwich. Or you can pretty much tell that due to the 1970s pop soundtrack that plays throughout the majority of the film, to the point where it felt like Apocalypse Now meets King Kong. So it's nice to see that the filmmakers had fun making this movie, so therefore we, the audience, could enjoy it as well. Now, that leads me to a bunch of positives that I have. The effects are absolutely breathtaking. Sometimes there's obvious green screen when it came to a couple of the scenes with them in the jungle, but for the most part, everything in the film looks great, from the environment to the costumes to Kong himself. The digital effects used are actually really good, and whenever Kong gets to fight one of the monsters, it's absolutely breathtaking. And it feels like the monster fights that we've been waiting to see King Kong get himself involved in for years. Trust me, the film is totally worth it just to see Kong beat things up and to beat his chest and to roar in your face. It's totally worth it just for that. Like I said, the characters aren't very interesting, but that's not why you're here. You're here to see Kong be awesome. And thankfully, the action scenes are pretty well handled too, whether it's with the human characters or with Kong, especially since the film is only 1 hour and 58 minutes long, which is actually pretty pretty short in comparison to the last King Kong movie, the Peter Jackson remake, which felt like it was way too long. But the film never feels like it's that long, as it has a very fast pace and it's action packed throughout, except mainly for a little lull during the middle part of the film. The film is very fast paced at the start and very fast paced at the end, but the middle drags a tiny bit after the main character's first interaction with Kong. But the film's fast paced, it's fun, it's full of napalm, explosions, and gunfire, and it's just really an action film fit for a king. Also, stay for the credits. There's an after credit scene that I won't spoil for you guys, but let's just say it sets off an interesting pattern of things to come, in a similar fashion to a Marvel movie. And I'm really excited to see what they do next with King Kong. So, with awesome action, a fun tone, and just seeing Kong beat things up, I'm going to give Kong Skull Island an 8 out of 10. Go see it. Trust me, you'll have a blast. See you later.